To start with, guys, there is a report out there that Kendricks took less than the Niners were giving him. Comfort with Zimmer, cost of living, playing time. So I think that's a good. It seems like so many of their significant acquisitions, name acquisitions, are guys slightly over the hill. You know, I think we clearly know what kind of good players we can look for here, right? Between Gilmore and Cooks and Kendricks this year, we need them probably 32, 33, 34 years old. Market not big. That's where the Cowboys can slide in because they're the difference of like, hey, the Niners are going to give you 4. Well, how about we do 3.5? Cost of living is lower. You're going to be with Mike Zimmer, and you'll start as long as you're healthy. Does that sound good? The difference there isn't big, but when the Cowboys are trying to play for the big fish, obviously they require a different kind of compensation. What do you guys think the most relevant Cowboys news of the offseason so far is? We'll grade the 5 moves at 877-881-1053. Is it Kendricks? Is it something else? Brian, how would you take that?
Significant move overall?
Yeah.
Just anything?
Anything Cowboy related?
I think
maybe the judge throwing out that one trial against Jer Bear.
I think hiring a Mike Zimmer.
Yeah.
I think the hiring of Mike Zimmer.
He's saving McCarthy's job.
That's what I'm saying. And I have that kind of respect for Mike that he is that he's going to come in here, he's going to button things up. We saw what happened in the Green Bay game. Clearly there was a disconnect, whether coaching, players, something. They just didn't play as well as they played all year and hopefully Mike will come in and I think he'll do that. I think the next most significant thing of the offseason is what Jerry said, the whole all-in thing, And I say that in a way of Jerry said all in when they had nothing to be all in, not for, but did they have any money to really do anything? It was an odd time for him to say it that way. If we know now what we knew, then kind of a thing. He should have never ever said that, knowing that he's got no money, he's got none. And they weren't going to be able to make a lot of moves and stuff like that. But
yeah, that's been insult to injury because those are the 2 words everybody's throwing around.
If Jerry would have come out and said, "Listen, we're going to lose a lot of guys. We're really up against the cap. It's going to be difficult, but we're going to do our best to try and pull this thing together. We draft well." If he would have talked about some of those things, but instead to say all in when you had this is the worst. I think when you start to talk about the amount of money, if it wasn't for a $30 million bailout, I hope I'm getting that right, that the league gave you on the extension of the cap or,
cap went up.
The cap went up. I mean, just think about if they didn't have that. I mean, they were going to get some relief, but they got $30 million of relief, and they're still
been 45 over.
Yeah, they would have been in some. This thing could have been even worse. So
yeah, Jerry's bluff was really jarring. I think
he
to
had
the fan
no money.
base. It was irritating, but I think it cost him his credibility.
Yeah,
it might be a watershed moment or a benchmark as we look back on history. The year that Jerry's words really rung hollow for most people paying attention. I think he's got to recover from that with some credibility and some actual truths. Him believing you guys build the team, coach the team, I'm going to go sell. That has been a great strategy for a while, but maybe his finger is slightly off the pulse of, having that perfect ability to massage and finesse the story the way that he has for so long.
Man, I think we all would have respected it a little bit more and would have said, okay, he has his hands on the pulse if he would have come out and been honest about their situation. Yeah. If he said, "Hey, this is going to be rough for us."
Sure.
This is, we've kind of got ourselves in this situation. We've drafted well. We've had some poor signings. We've given some contracts that we probably shouldn't have done, and we're in this situation. I think everybody would have gone, okay, I see. That's at least you're being.
I'm frustrated.
Little selective honesty can go a long way.
Hey, guys, I'm frustrated with you too. Bowing out in the first round of Green Bay wasn't a good thing.
Unacceptable. That's not up to our standards.
Yeah, but instead to say they were all in. When you have no money to spend, that's the wrong optics in my book.
In my follow-up on Zimmer with you.
Yeah.
I mean, be honest, you'd rather have Mike take the other Mike's job, wouldn't you, than save his job?
People, every time I talk about Mike McCarthy, everybody thinks I have something out for him. I don't have anything out for him. I really don't.
But you don't think he's as good a head coach as Mike Zimmer?
I can't say that because Mike's had success. Mike McCarthy's had a lot of success. I just don't think Mike McCarthy, he's a lot like me right now. You know,
he's a fogey.
He's a guy that's he goes out there. You try and fight every day. You try and do what's right and all that, and you just wonder. You wonder how important it is to him, though. You really do. I mean, if you're going on trips during the combine and you're spring breaking it and all that. Hey, I understand vacations and stuff, but not while we'll need you to do things.
I like how Lucius came up and hit the drop and then ran off like Steph Curry. He's a fogey.
Do we know who you were talking about that day?
Yeah, that was the Witten rant, dude. That Witten rant's the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh my gosh. Can we relive? It's a Throwback Thursday.
I don't know.
I wonder if we could dig that thing up.
Do we have it in its entirety?
Is that dig upable?
Might be in the old system.
Man.
What do you guys say? Woolchuck, Chiafalo, the Frankel injury attorneys text line. Biggest story so far.
I liked what somebody said about the DeMarcus Lawrence burnt out comments being a giant offseason story.
That was, yeah.
But addition-wise, I think it has to be Zimmer.
Yeah.
I mean, of moves they've made, it's either Zimmer or Kendricks. And if I had to pick one for the success of the defense, I'm picking Zimmer over Kendricks.
Being lucky that Al Harris didn't go be the defensive coordinator there in Washington, so you kept him around. But, yeah, I think that other than that, it's probably Tyron leaving. Tyron Smith is no longer part of the organization.
Interesting.
That was certainly somebody that's been a big piece of this thing for over a decade. I mean, your great wall of Dallas that you had rebuilt here with Frederick and Tyron and Leary, and at that time it was Doug Free, and then you added a Lyle Collins, and now it's basically just down to Zach Martin. So I think that's definitely somebody that you've had that you knew as long as he's healthy, and I get it. The last couple of years, the health's been an issue, and I think they made the right decision to go ahead and just rip that Band-Aid off. I would have done it last year. They were very, very lucky to get 13 games out of Tyron the way he played last year. But that's definitely a big talking point. I mean, you don't have Tyron anymore.
Yeah, I think that's well stated, and it's historically relevant. It'll probably be the biggest story looking back. That was the year Tyron Smith left. I still remember the year Flozell Adams left, and Colombo shortly thereafter. That was a serious transition for the team. They did a good job of rebuilding on the fly that time around. I think another storyline is just a great departure of guys that they did draft. When you're talking about Dorrance Armstrong and Biotish, and if your deal is to keep all the guys that you draft.
That 2018 draft, you lost all those guys too. And you look at that.
Gallup,
yeah, a lot of them.
Okay, Blogging the Boys here. They did the story. Definitely want to salute Mike Poland for giving us the content there. The hiring of Mike Zimmer was his first thing. Losing key players to the rival, Dorrance, Dante, Biotish, and Igbenogany. Did Igbenogany turn out to be a key guy, special teamer?
Not at all. He was an active cat every week, basically.
The signing of linebacker Eric Kendricks, the loss of Tyron Smith, and the re-signing of Jordan Lewis. That was an interesting one. I didn't know if they would, but I think the price was right? Jordan Lewis has a couple of kids, and he's put roots down here and probably was just like, man, I could try to finagle for a few more bucks on the market, but if you could have me back at the Cowboys, that'd be great.
I think guys like Al Harris, I do. I think they really do.
Yeah,
I think they respected Joe Witt, but I think overall Al Harris is the one they all kind of gravitate towards too. So maybe Al had something to do with that, stepping up and saying, hey, this is the place you need to be.
Yeah, great coach, great mentor is what I'm hearing as well.
Yeah.
And he gets the guys excited to play. So maybe that Dan Quinn energy can be maintained there because Zim's going to be stoic, and he's going to look bitter.
Zim is not going to take any crap from anybody. That's the thing about Mike. He is going to make sure that every one of these guys are going to get coached really hard. And whether they can take it or not, that's going to be the real key going forward.
Last year, the motto established in camp was Carpe Omnia. They did manage to carpe the division. And then
is that seize all? Is that what that means?
Again? Yeah, seize everything.
Yeah,
seize everything.
Yeah. Story here, Nick Harris, DallasCowboys.com. Brock Hoffman is ready to seize the opportunity at center.
Oh.
If they did get through the first 3 days and did not take another center and it was going to be Brock Hoffman, would you guys think we're getting better, worse, about the same of Tyler Biotish?
I would say you're probably getting worse.
Yeah, I think initial reaction would be worse. But, I mean, Brock Hoffman does have they both have mean streak in them when it comes to that offensive line.
They do.
Biotish definitely did have that. But if he was better than Biotish, he would have started for him last year. So, I mean, maybe Hoffman improves this offseason. He's been putting in the work. There's no doubt about that. There was an article today.
They like him a lot more than I do. I know that.
Yeah, I think I do.
No, they do. They do. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, no, I think that most likely it'd be a downgrade.
They got a bunch of Hoffmen over there. You're not a Hoffman. Everybody in that building seems to be Hoffman.
They believe in their Hoffman.
They're Hoffman. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's
I was trying to follow along.
a possibility we must
That
prepare
was a
for.
tough one.
That one didn't
Was
win,
it?
but that's okay.
What was?
Usually
don't
hassle
they do?
the
Everybody
Hoff.
over there's a bunch of Hoffmen over there, and you're not a Hoffman.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Are you?
Is that a movie line or something? Did I miss
Absolutely
something?
not. No,
You're
Okay.
an LSU man.
that's just trying to
you're not a
contribute to a
Hoffman.
Hoffman conversation.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think you nailed it.
Why do you do stuff like that?
Why not?
Why do you watch Talking His Jokes, Brian?
Boy,
Haven't
am
we
I
been through
impressed.
this?
Damn it.
Well, I love listening to the Hoffman analysis. I mean, it's riveting conversation.
What a play by me.
You're such an ass.
Say it with your chest.
I'm going to come over there and maybe kick you in the shin. You know that.
Why just a kick in the shin?
I think it'll affect
I think he
him.
wishes you would, Brian.
Yeah, I might do it at the break.
North
No,
Carolina.
I'm not Jake Paul. I'm not fighting a senior citizen.
What is the cutoff for that to be a senior citizen? Is it
65.
I'm starting to get those AARP card things.
Yeah.
I'm getting those in the
you're
mail.
getting close?
Yep. Well, I guess I'm 60.
UNC
Got 5 good
82.
years.
I mean, you've been getting the discounts at the restaurants
Sorry,
for a while.
no, I'm sorry.
No, we got it.
We're,
Yeah,
we're,
I'm
we're
sorry.
stepping all over.
We got
you
a
here.
rim session coming up. And anyway, Chief and Broadus are nose to nose right now. What am I trying to do sports for?
No.
It's the best show on the radio right
No,
now.
I tell you what, though, on the TikTok, a lot of stuff about Social Security, like how to handle when to take Social Security.
They've got
They
you
know
out
who
there
to
with them
target.
down.
They got me. They got me on this one.
Dang it, they made up. I ruined it.
No, I'm going to go over there and hit him. Get ready.
I like the 417
Okay.
that says that was Hoffle.
Well done. That's some good hopping.
Maybe I
punch.
should have said that.
I think that is probably the
That
most.
would have been the best retort you could have had.
I just didn't know where you were going with that.
I know. I'm sorry. It was
Well, neither
confusing.
did he, but it's okay.
No, I had a very good understanding
have
of
a
where
good-
I was going, but my people didn't follow me. So
Oh.
that's on me.
I'm sorry.
It's on me, the leader.
No, I salute you for making an effort, to spice up the conversation about a guy who's a borderline roster player. You know?
Man,
Get enough of that
That's what I was
nonsense.
trying to explain.
He's one of your top backup linemen, guys.
yeah, he is.